All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, they're 6-3. They're winning football games, and here's the thing. They're making NFL history, but they're not necessarily making NFL history in a great way. Relatively unideal that they've been outgained in every single game and have an above 500 record. Now, here's the thing. We're going to circle it back. They're winning. And we also have to keep in mind that Kenny Pickett is hurt. Now, Kenny Pickett recently said that all he truly cares about is winning. And I've got a tweet here from Mark Caboli. You know who else always said that early in his career? Ben Roethlisberger, when he wasn't yet the Big Ben that he would become. The team would win, and he would put up pedestrian numbers. Every QB wants to put up big numbers. So it's Wednesday afternoon, and you guys just took down my Green Bay Packers. Despite the Steelers being 6-3, even though they've been outgained in every game, despite the fact that specifically in the last 2 weeks, both Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren have looked phenomenal, despite the fact that Kenny Pickett is literally injured, everybody's loving to nitpick it, saying Kenny Pickett's not the guy. Kenny Pickett's not the guy. Nobody's taking CJ Stroud over Kenny Pickett. If the Steelers got a phone call right now taking a first-round pick for Kenny Pickett, they'd do it in a heartbeat. If we circle back to this channel all summer, there was one thing I wanted to learn this season. Is Kenny Pickett my franchise QB? Now, here's the thing. We're only 9 games in, and situationally, Kenny Pickett and the Pittsburgh Steelers are really freaking good. Because if they weren't, they wouldn't be 6-3. So we're going to discuss that in today's video. But before we do, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content, along with at least 2 Steelers videos every single week. Steelers fans, as always, you are awesome, so passionate, and you're also so smart, and you guys just know ball. You guys just know football, and you have so much love, and you have so much respect for your franchise. I just can't help but love it. I love every single one of you. If we could try and get this video to 250 likes, that would mean the absolute world to me. So I was watching TV today. We got a talking head. I won't mention him by name because I do love watching his show. But they were kind of making an argument saying, you know what, context does matter. And even though they're winning, even though they're 6-3, Kenny Pickett against the Green Bay Packers and the lackluster defense, which, by the way, I'm a Packers fan, so I am a little bit biased. I don't think we have a lackluster defense. You know, Kenny Pickett only threw for 126 yards. So does context matter? Well, it matters to a certain degree. Here's the thing. Kenny Pickett's been starting in NFL games for about a year now. And because of guys like CJ Stroud, who looks phenomenal, you have any QB who is, 21, 22, 23 years old. If they're not averaging close to 300 passing yards per game, clearly they're not the franchise quarterback. And I just have big issues with that. And that's why we mentioned the Ben Roethlisberger tweet, because does context matter? Well, it matters to a certain degree. Does it matter in week 9 when you're 6-3 and you've been banged up? Guys like DJ has been hurt for, what felt like 25% of the season. Pat's been out. You're got a phenomenal defense, but Kenny Pickett's been injured. Matt Canada most likely isn't the greatest offensive mind, but at the end of the day, they're 6-3. But more importantly to me, what does Kenny Pickett look like in crunch time? What do the Pittsburgh Steelers offense and defense look like in crunch time? Now, well, defensively, we don't have any concerns. I don't think there's a soul on the planet right now who has concerns with the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. They're giving up just 20 points per game this season. That's technically 11th. If you take a look on, I'm looking at Stat News right now, defensive ranks, they're like red in every one of them, and red is not great. But when you watch the Pittsburgh Steelers, you're not thinking to yourself, oh yeah, man, their defense needs work. When you have, especially, the last 2 Steelers games, especially on first down, have been unbelievable. And I know you only won by 4 to Will Levis and the Tennessee Titans, and you only won by 4 to my Green Bay Packers and Jordan Love. Situationally, Kenny Pickett turns it on in the 4th quarter. And like we said, and I'll keep reiterating it, the dude's injured. So the last couple of weeks, no, I'm not expecting 350 passing yards from Kenny Pickett. Now, with that being said, would I like the Steelers to have an over 400-yard game? Hasn't happened since 2020. Would I want that? Would I love it? Yes. Do I necessarily need it? Not currently at this point. because they are still winning. Now, I cover basketball. That's kind of my bread and butter here. That's how this channel originally started. I do a daily live NBA show, and I know this is like a completely different market and it's a completely different sport, but it reminds me almost of Julius Randle, where, a guy like Julius Randle will just absolutely feast in the regular season. The dude will put up like 23 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. But when the playoffs come, he crumbles like a 3-day-old cookie. So I would actually rather have a lackluster statistical QB who's given me maybe 220, 230 passing yards. Most importantly, not making foolish mistakes, not throwing into triple coverage, double teams, whatever, just situationally aware. He understands football. He's not going to make stupid, silly mistakes, so you can keep that momentum going. I would rather have him be situationally elite than just an elite quarterback and crumble in playoffs. Once again, I'm a Packers fan. So think about my man, Aaron Rodgers. Now, I don't think Aaron Rodgers crumbles like a 3-day-old cookie when it matters most. But if we were to look at NFC championship games, I think there certainly is an argument for that he does. I would rather have a QB who just makes plays happen when they need to make plays happen and situationally can just get me victories. I understand that the precedent is Super Bowl rings. Everybody wants Super Bowl rings. But at the end of the day, a little over a year ago, Kenny Pickett was the backup QB. And like we said, I don't necessarily think Matt Canada is giving him... I don't know how to phrase this, but I don't think Matt Canada is, getting the most. That's how I view coaches, whether you're, it doesn't matter the sport, coordinator, whatever. How much can you get out of a specific player? Maybe Matt Canada is not the offensive coordinator of the future. That's not the point of this video. All I'm saying is patience. And that's why we started this video with the Ben Roethlisberger statement, because we could sit here and nitpick the injured Kenny Pickett's 14-23 for 126 yards, or we could look at the positives. And one big positive for the Pittsburgh Steelers is, first off, I have George Pickens. I have a healthy Deontay Johnson. Yes, I need a wide receiver 3 to step up. And yes, I'm talking about Allen Robinson. Yes, I would like more targets or just opportunities where Calvin Austin has the football in his hands. But at the end of the day, the run game right now, I'm loving it. Because once we get into playoff football, once we start, Pittsburgh fans know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm born and raised Chicago area. It gets cold. And what do I lean on when it gets cold? Well, I'm going to lean on the run game. Because if you can win in the trenches, you can win football games. And the last 2 weeks, the Pittsburgh Steelers are actually always going to defensively win the trenches, but they've won the trenches offensively. So am I crowning them my Super Bowl prediction? Not necessarily. I'm just going to say no. But be patient with it. Just be patient with it, all right? So that's it for today. Just kind of a little bit of a rant, Steelers ramble for this Wednesday, this beautiful Wednesday afternoon here in Florida. It's pouring rain, pouring cats and dogs. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. But Steelers fans, how are you feeling about Kenny Pickett and your offense? Let me know down below. Peace.